Hey everyone, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hey, who's in there? Welcome. Welcome to the live stream. Sorry for not talking. If you have any comments or questions, you can put them in the chat and I'll try my best to answer them. I'm just trying to get the word out, and I'll answer your guys' questions in a second. If you have a question out there and you want to drop in the chat, I'll answer for you. Well, we'll first off talk about the Xavier Howard problem that's happening about the contract. So, my views on it is we pay him or he gets traded. I don't think there's in between. I think if we do trade him, I expect a first round pick and maybe a mid round pick, maybe a fourth, fifth, maybe a third if we're lucky. I just constantly keep on looking at that Jalen Ramsey trade where they got 2 first round picks for a top 5 corner in the league. So I think we can easily get a first and maybe like a third or fourth for Xavier Howard, and if we do, I'm grateful for that. And I think that would be a big, like that would be big for us and more draft capital because we've seen what Flores has done with draft capital before. I think we, I think we need to trust him on this, and I think he'll do good. Copy link. Go to Facebook. I'm just shouting this out right now. Also, if you guys have seen with the things that Jalen Waddle and Jerome Baker were doing yesterday, where they're giving food material, like materials, water, to people in need with that one big accident in Miami or South Florida. Let's just say Florida, where the building collapsed. That's great to see our young guys helping people in need, which that's great to see, and I'm happy that they're doing that, and I can't wait to see more of it. Let's do where it's good stuff on the field and off the field, and let's hope for the least of if we have off the field problems. Also, if you guys have you guys heard the one thing that I forget who said it, but the one guy said Brian Flores is on the hot seat. That's such a bad statement. He's taken a 5-11 team to a 10-6 team, and he's on the hot seat. He's on the hot seat. Such a bad take. Such a bad take. I don't know where he's coming from, but he is stupid for thinking a young and upcoming head coach is on the hot seat. Like I said earlier, if you guys have any questions, just pop them in the chat and I'll answer to the best of my abilities. If you have any questions, I'll give my opinions on things. Not political, because that's the last thing I'm worrying about. But any sports related questions, Dolphins related questions, I'll answer it. Guys, just keep. So, how's everyone doing today? Are they doing good? Okay. Hello, welcome to the channel. If you have any questions, like right there, pop them in the chat.
Is it cleaner? Is it cleaner?
Hello?
It's better without the. I'm just trying to shout out the video right now. I'm trying to get more people to come on here and watch it. Exactly. Go Dolphins. Reed Draco, if you got any questions, pop them in the chat and I'll answer at my best ability. If you have any questions, it doesn't have to be about Dolphins. It could be about the Heat. It could be about any other sports. And so, the best of my ability. I believe he will be. I think Jalen Waddle will become a star, but I don't think we'll see that year one. I think we'll see where he's transitioning from the college level to the NFL level speed. And also bigger corners, better corners. So I think it'll take him a little bit. I think he'll start at the slot, but I think our leading receivers that will be like the best will probably be Devontae Parker or Will Fuller. And even Mike Gesicki. I think my prediction for Waddle will probably have to be like 700, 600 yards, which isn't bad for a third receiver. I'm not sure if you saw yesterday. I was talking about this earlier, where the Dolphins went to go help the people that are in need in Miami, which I think is a great thing to see, and it shows what high characters they have, and that they're helping and giving people in need the stuff that the stuff that they would need at this kind of moment. Ooh, my favorite player in the NFL at the moment. Well, on the Dolphins, has to be Xavier Howard. But at the moment, I'll say not on the Dolphins. I'll say that's a tough one. That's tough. I probably have to still stick with Xavier Howard, though. Xavier Howard is just a crazy player to watch with all those interceptions and the pass breakups and the impact that he puts in the game, where he'll make a quarterback second guess his throws. I still don't think I don't believe he's the best corner, but I think he's a top 3 corner, maybe even top 2. Depends how you look at it. I know we might lose him. But I think, and at the end of the day, I think the contract gets resolved. I think the more guaranteed money is what he's looking for, and he just wants to be the highest paid corner on the roster. Which, in my opinion, I think it's a little too early to ask for another new contract when you still have 4 years left on your current one. But if you want the money, go get the money. Don't blame him. I hope we pay him. I want us to keep him. He's a crazy good player. He's probably one of the best players that we have. Having like the past decade, probably him, Rashad Jones, and Cameron Wake. But if we do trade him, I want a first round pick at least a first round pick and a mid round pick. But the bad thing is, you see teams try so many times on different corners, where a lot of the times it doesn't work out, and then you constantly keep on looking for them corners. But also, you have to look at it where you think the edge rush can help you so much and help you get to the quarterback, and then he'll just toss it up at the end of the day. That's why I think we should pay him, and I think next year we should pay Agba and Gesicki. So that's my opinion. I believe we're a playoff team right now with Xavier Howard, without Xavier Howard, it might be tough, really tough, because we don't know what we have in Noah. We don't know what we have in guys like Nick Needham, where they've shown flashes, but also they've shown times where they struggle. So I think we should pay him, and I agree with you on that. Oh, what am I thinking about not having Van Noy? I think it'll be a loss. I think it's still veteran leadership at the end of the day that we have in the locker room, that someone knows the playbook. But also getting a guy like Jordan Phillips, who's going to play someone the similar role that Van Noy played in, will be big. I'm not saying we're going to be a Super Bowl contender this year, but I think having Jordan Phillips, by most people, crowned the best edge rusher in the draft, but if you didn't have those injuries, probably would have went top 10. But I think losing Van Noy is going to hurt with the veteran leadership, not going to be there. But I think we'll see somewhat of a step from we'll see something from Phillips where we believe. And also we have Agba on the other side, which it's going to be big because he showed up last year, but let's see if he can stay the same, because those injuries stacked up his whole career when he was in Cleveland and when he was at Kansas City. He was the leading sack. He had the most sacks on the Kansas City team before he went down with an injury. So that just shows how much of a good player that he can be and what he will be for this roster. So yeah, I think losing Van Noy is big, but I think also his play last year was just mediocre. I'm gonna be front with it. Also, not having a full off season might have hurt him a little bit, but I think he was just mediocre last year. And I think Flores and Greer are saying, if you're not playing up to the contract that we're going to give you, you're gone. Because look at guys like Shaq Lawson, look at guys like Eric Flowers and Van Noy. All of them are gone because they didn't play up to the level that Flores and Greer expected them to be. So that's my opinion on us not having Van Noy anymore. I think he was just there. It's just veteran leadership at the end of the day. Where we bring back guys like Landon Roberts, and we traded for Benardrick McKinney, which can be a big piece in the locker room. So yeah, that's my opinion. I'm sorry I went on a ramble. So if you want to pop another question, I'll answer it for you. That's just my opinion on losing Van Noy. Also, if you've been viewing, what up? What up, Josh? You got any questions you want to put in the chat? I'll answer the best of my ability. What's your question, man? Could be about anything. Could be about the Dolphins. Could be about the Heat. Could be about any other sport. I think he will ball out this year, but I don't think he's going to be top 10 like some people are hyping up to be. I think he will improve, but he's still going to have some struggles. He's still a quarterback at the end of the day. Look at every other good quarterback. They have struggles in games. I think when we play teams like maybe Buffalo, where they have the crazy edge rush with their young line, he's going to feel the pressure. And I'm not a Tua lover, and I'm not a Tua hater. I think I'm smacked in the middle. I think he'll have about 20, 28, 29, probably in the 30 touchdowns range. Could go down, could go up a little bit, but I'll say he might have like a 4,000 yard season. But I'm not hyping up He might not even. He might not have. He might have like 3,900. It all depends on what he can do if he's back to that 100%, like his trainer is saying, where he and his trainer was saying last year he was at a 60%. Let's see if he can step up and make the big improvement that we all have been hoping for. If you've been reading articles that his teammates are saying he's been playing better, which I hope he does. I hope he does. I can't wait for him to ball out if he does ball out. If not, it's going to suck, and because we wasted a top 5 pick on him. But if he's good and he bounces back like everyone's hoping he does, great pick. It's a great pick for us. Better than Ryan Tannehill that we wasted a pick on. But now he's doing better. It's all it depends on all what they can do. But also, I'm not calling Ryan Tannehill a bust. I'm saying when he was playing for us, he's never had a good offensive coordinator around him. I think he's just had mediocre offensive coordinator and a trash offensive coordinator in Adam Gase. He never really lived up to the potential that he was hyped up to be. Okay, what's another question you got, Josh? I watched a lot of them. I watched where he sat. He looked really good at Alabama. There's some games that he struggles and he couldn't get out. But also people are going to say that he had crazy good receivers around him. Then look at guys like A.J. McCarron and even maybe Mac Jones now on the Patriots, where you think that they are good, but they might not. And I'm not saying Mac Jones is going to be a bust, but I think Mac Jones will be a decent quarterback. I think might have a major A.J. McCarron career, and I think if not, he's good. Welcome to the division, though. But I watched most of Tua's game. I go back and constantly look at film though on what Tua could done, like did Alabama, what transitioned to the NFL, what the speed of the NFL. What's your opinion? What do you think of Tua at Alabama? You think he was hyped up, or if you have an opinion about Tua, just put it in the chat what you think he'll do. Exactly. His footwork at Alabama was good, but if you look at the NFL, he always took that extra step when he didn't have to. He always just took a lot more time in the pocket. But his touch passes, what I've been hearing about his touch passes, well, yeah, because his team's always up so much. If his team's up so much, you're going to sit out the fourth quarter because you wouldn't have to play and you don't want to injure yourself. But look what happened. He got injured in that one big game and he plummeted his draft stock. If he played that season, I believe that he could have been the best quarterback. But if people are calling me biased on that, I think he could have been the best quarterback if he played that season. He would have gave Joe Burrow a run for his money. And like I was saying, his footwork was good in Alabama, but NFL, he always took that extra step because he didn't feel pretty comfortable in that pocket. Because if you watch games like Denver, Buffalo, even sometimes in the New England game, they always brought pressure at him and in his face, where he's just scared of getting hit because of that hip, and that hip was a big thing last year. That's why a lot of people say touchdown to pat down, like he's gonna like throw it off, but it's not like that. When you have a bad hip, and his highest pass, what I've read or heard, was 35 yards last year, which isn't great from a quarterback. But also you always have to come back to that hip. Ooh, trying to think. That's a good question. I think 2018 Tua, maybe 2018 Tua, and I'm not saying that because of he might have won the national championship. I think he had his best year in 2018. I'm gonna have to pull the stats up to check that. Tua Tagovailoa 2018 stats. Yeah, I think 2018 Tua is what. But to be fair, the games that he did play in his last season, he was looking really good. I think healthy Tua is underrated. I think that's what I agree with this whole team. I think everyone's so used to crapping on him because he's a quarterback from Alabama, and they love crapping on quarterbacks from Alabama. But I think he'll be underrated this year. I think they're still going to call him a bust. There's going to be people that are going to call him a bust through the season. Either it's the angry fans or the people on TV, or they're just going to say Tua's not good and he can't throw the ball like he used to. I highly doubt. I think he will be underrated in aspects, and I think some aspects of his game he might be overrated. It's how I view it. But I think we saw flashes of Tua last year, though. Arizona game, and then like New England game, where he knew he didn't have the pass game going with him, so he just rushed the touchdowns in by himself. But there's flashes and glimpses of his game that I love to watch this year. And I think coming into the season, I think he's getting overhated. I think he's the most hated quarterback in the NFL. And I think he gets hated just because he's a quarterback from Alabama. And everyone, I mean, yes, a lot of fans did hype him up last year. And he didn't show that we'll get used to. But a lot of media hyped him up too. But he was coming off a big injury. You look at guys like Bo Jackson who had that injury and they never played again. It's a big injury and it hurts. I bet it hurts like heck. But I think he'll have a bounce back year, and I think he'll shock everyone. But I don't think Pro Bowl year. I think he'll have middle of the pack season. I'll give you that. I think he'll have middle of the pack season. I think he'll have a not MVP Matt Ryan, but just mediocre Matt Ryan. Well, not mediocre Matt Ryan. I think he'll have a Matt Ryan type season where he's good, but he doesn't get recognized as really good. He's just been mediocre. Like, not mediocre. He's a good quarterback, but he doesn't get the attention that he needs. But I already know how it's going to go. If Tua does good this year, they're going to say, well, because he had Will Fuller and Devontae Parker and Mike Gesicki around him. But if he does bad, they're going to bash him and say he's a bust and he's a terrible quarterback and he doesn't deserve to play in the NFL. There are going to be some media sources that say that, and that's why I blocked it out at this point. Film says what film says. That's how I view it. If you see a quarterback's not ready, then he's not ready. But I think there are a lot of people that hate him, overhate him for some reason that doesn't need. So Josh, if you got another question, just pop it in the chat and I'll answer it. So I think I do agree that Tua is underrated this year. That's a good question again. We've seen what we can get from Herbert, but we haven't seen what we got from Tua. But if he does play like 2018 Tua, like you're saying, I still think he might have. I think he'll have I think Herbert has a better year. The reason why I say that is I think Herbert has an arm, and we've seen him, but there are games where he struggles against good veteran coaches, like the Belichick game, and there are some other games that are not coming to mind right now, but I know that he did struggle in those games. But I think Herbert has such a good supporting cast around him, but losing Hunter Henry, I don't even know I think Herbert has better stats. I think losing Hunter Henry would be big, but getting Austin Eckler 100% healthy will be crazy good for him. Where we have guys like Myles Gaskin and Salvin Ahmed, Malcolm Brown, Patrick Laird, Jared Dokes, where we have guys that are mediocre that won't take us over the edge with the running, but they're serviceable. They're a serviceable back, but I think we can get better. I wish we would have gotten one. I wish Denver wouldn't have traded up in front of us. I agree with that. 2018 Tua was deadly, and he was on point every game that year. He was doing a lot of things other quarterbacks do. Exactly, his pocket movement and accuracy. He had great pocket presence. He had a great pocket presence where he knew how to move around the pocket. And even in the NFL, if you look at some of his games with the accuracy, and what you hear from Devontae Parker and Jakeem Grant is that his accuracy is crazy good. He knows where to put it right where he needs to. But I think 2018 Tua might have a little bit better stats. Exactly. His footwork in college was next level, but it didn't transition well into the NFL, but it also might have been the hip, which I'm excited for Tua. But like I was saying earlier, he always took that extra step when he didn't have to. He always took extra steps where he didn't need to. He probably could have got the ball off faster and quicker. Well, that's the same thing, but faster and where his receivers can catch the ball more. I agree with that. Tua in 2018 did get it was 390, but I'll just round it up to 400 or 4,000. But I agree with that. He did have 4,000, and that was only in 15 games. Think about that. There's going to be 17 games. So if Tua gets back to 100%, gains muscle like he's been, exactly, he will be playing in those fourth quarters where it matters, and that's where we'll really see if Tua can do it. If he can do it in the clutch and do it like we've been hearing all offseason from his trainer and from his like other people around him, he will be a deadly man this year. He'll torch I think he might torch some good DBs that we verse. I think we do have a good schedule. I think it's just right about where ours is. So I can't wait for this season, and I'll give you my record prediction right now. I think it's 11-6 or 12-5 in that range. If Xavier Howard's gone, 10-6. Byron Jones is still a good corner. He just is coming into a different system with smaller time frame. And also, we saw Tua do that with not that much knowledge in the playbook, like he was saying. Not that he didn't know the playbook at all, which all the media is hyping it up to be. He knew probably like 60% of the playbook, if I had to say. 50% of the playbook. So, exactly. That's what I've been saying. Same thing. I think he would have beaten Burrow's records if he stayed in. That is true. And I will agree with you on that. I think he would have broken a lot of those stats. Even I think he probably would have won that Heisman the year that Burrow won it if he stayed healthy and he played all those fourth quarters that he had to. He didn't have if he wanted to if Nick Saban let him play in those fourth quarters, he probably would have broken some of those records. But also if you look at it from both sides, would they be running the ball? Well, I don't think for 6K. I think maybe in the 5K range, but I don't think 6K. 6K is 6K is a big number if you think about it like that. 6K, not a lot of players do that. Not that I reckon of my short lifespan, but that is true. But do you think in 2 quarters he could double, or in some games he sat out? That is true, though. I will agree with you on that. He was dicing them up from the pocket. I will agree with you on that. But I think Tua will have a better season than Herbert. I'll give you that. I will agree with you on that. And he was dicing them up in the pocket, and he looked outstanding. If he didn't get hurt all those times, same thing with Jalen Phillips. If he didn't get hurt all those times, he probably could have been the number 1 pick. That's what I'm saying. Only if he comes in looking like 2018. That's only, which exactly. I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. I think he'll have a great season this year. But I think, like I was saying earlier, I think he'll have an underrated season. Exactly. His footwork got to be better, and understanding that Alabama O-line and Miami O-line. I think moving Hunt to guard will be great for us. And Matt Skura is an underrated piece of this offseason, but people hate on him because they won his last year. 1 out of 10. I say a 7. I say it's 7. I have a faith because Guys like Solomon Kinley, I love Solomon Kinley. He just runs you, he bull rushes you over and then just puts you on the ground. I'd say a 7 about him. I still have some lack of confidence where what I've seen last year in the Denver game where they're doing stunts on them, where they're pulling the outside guy out and then putting him on the inside against our guards. I think where Austin Jackson was struggling last year. I hope he comes back and plays better. I like Robert Hunt. I love the Eichenberg pick. I love the Eichenberg pick. I gave it an A. I gave it an A for my draft. He was a great pick and I loved it. But how about you? How much faith would you have in our line? How much faith would you have in our line? I agree with that. I agree. Like a 6 or a 7 is where I would put it. But our line was trash last year, and there's no beating around the bush with that. Let's just say a solid 6 to a 7, where you have some faith, but they got to show more. They have to show more, or else Tua is just going to get eaten alive in that backfield. Where we don't want to see Tua like Joe Burrow this year, where he's hurt, and we see how much of an impact not having Joe Burrow was. Exactly, you got to see it. You can talk all the talk, but if you don't back it up on the field, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. You can say you guys have improved and your footwork has gotten better. Footwork has gotten better, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you don't back it up. If you don't back it up, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Exactly, because that's why we got Waddle and Fullers, because Stewart's gonna love those those crossing routes where that's either a slant or a dig route or where we know these guys have speed and they can turn it upfield. Where that's what we didn't really have last year. We had like a lot of our receivers were jump ball receivers, and that's how the quarterback that Tua is. That's why Devontae Parker, in my opinion, might be gone if he doesn't show up this year. I think we might look to get another receiver. I think we'll re-sign Fuller next year. You just have to. They're going to have to keep Tua up. They have to, because Tua can't throw the ball on his back. What was that? What's that sound? 1 second. Sorry, it was the Amazon truck. But I think we have to see Tua sit up. Not sit up, but they have to keep him up. If not, we're going to see Tua hurt, on the ground. Yes, 100%. It's only 9 games, and he had more passing touchdowns than Cam Newton, Josh Allen, all of these other quarterbacks. But I think the people that do call him a bust after only 9 games, where they're going to be like, oh, well, he was so bad, they had to take him out of games. No, it's because when you're in playoff moments, do you really want your season to end on a rookie where you have the veteran quarterback also who's known this playbook for 5 years or 3 to 5 years now, where he knows where he can fit the ball. And that's also why I'm not worried about the 5 interceptions that Tua threat in the pouring rain, where a lot of games would have gotten called off if that was the weather. So I think they're freaking idiots. I don't trust them. I think they're stupid. Exactly. It's common sense. How do you think you can only see productivity out of a quarterback in only 9 games? That's not even a full season. That's only half the season that you got to see out of him. And if you look at it, I think he had more passing yards than Lamar did his rookie year, but Lamar is also a running quarterback. But you look at all these good quarterbacks. What Tua was better than Joe Burrow this year, or had a little bit more stats than Burrow this year. Exactly. Just because Herbert had a great season, That's why everyone's like, oh, is Burrow a Tua the ant? No, not. They think Burrow's going to be great, but is Tua really the answer? Because Herbert threw like 4,500 yards. Like what? No, you can't just base it off of one quarterback. And you see quarterbacks all the time have one good first year and then are terrible the rest of their career. Look at guys like RG3 and all these other quarterbacks who have great first years. Who you always think that's right now, from what we've seen from Tua last year, I would make the trade, but we don't know what we have in Tua yet. If the end of the season, if Tua is about where Herbert is, I'm saying no, because you're not getting much of an upgrade. You're not getting that much of an upgrade where it's worth also giving up your young quarterback. And also, Herbert might just be good because of the system that he's in. Also, if I have to trade now, I'm probably trading Herbert. I'm trading for Herbert. Just we've seen what Herbert can, but also we've seen what Herbert can do in that system. We don't know what he can do in this new system. So, wow, you're saying wow. I think, but that's what we've seen from Herbert already after 9 games. No, after a season. That is true. I don't know what we have in Tua after 9 games. I'll give you that. But also, we've seen what they have in Herbert. You think with Herbert last year we would have made the playoffs? I agree with that, and I'm not doubting that Tua didn't have a full season. I love Tua. Tua is probably my favorite quarterback that I've gotten to watch on the Dolphins. Just how genuine the kid is, and how genuine he is. That's what I've been saying. That's what I've been screaming from the mountaintops as well. But in my opinion, I think we've seen Herbert put it right where he had to, and I understand why you think you wouldn't trade for Herbert. I understand why. I agree with you 100%. If you don't, I know we have to trade him now, but also it's bad for both of them because they're coming right into a new system and they only have like 6 weeks to know it. Not 6 weeks, like 8 weeks, so 2 months. So no one was going to be ready by then. No one's going to be ready by then. But if you have any other questions, I'll answer them for you. You got any other you got a basketball team that you like, or you're cheering for right now? Oh, nice, man. Nice, man. I understand that. So I guess you're a fan of Tua. All right, I got you. All right. I don't blame you there. I'm the fan of the team. So who's your favorite Dolphin player then? If it's not Tua, who's your favorite Dolphin player? Oh, okay. I understand why. So you like them too? Okay. Oh, okay. I understand why you wouldn't do the trade now. Okay. I understand what you're saying. So you okay. Okay. So if you have to think, what's the Ravens record is going to be this year? What would the Ravens record be this year? Oh no, I understand that. I agree with that. Because if you follow them through there, hey, you like them throughout. 12-5, I agree with that. I think Sammy Watkins will help that offense out so much. And they're getting Mark Andrews healthy, and they're getting... Oh, okay. All right, man, all right. How's it like in New Zealand? As you could tell, I'm from America. Also, okay. Hey, the more you watch football, the more you're gonna love it. You'll love if you watch a bunch of the Dolphins games this year. You're gonna love them. They're gonna be good for you. Your two teams might play in the playoffs. Who knows? Your two teams might play in the playoffs. Hey, that's all. Don't blame me. Basketball is coming down to the end. Hockey's. I don't watch much of hockey. I've seen who was in the championship. That's it. But you'll love both those teams. So man, what do you think the Dolphins record is going to be this year? What do you think the Dolphins record is going to be this year? Yes, I do believe that's. I don't think he should have. He won the Heisman and played at probably the second or third highest level of a quarterback that year. But there's 13-4. That's fair. That's fair. I'd rather be surprised than let down. And also, if you want to start watching a lot more of the Dolphins, you should go check out guys like Dudley Durong and TD Finstock. They'll get you a lot more hyped for the team this year. And I do believe. I think Dolphins go 12-5. I think there's still aspects of this team that needs to be improved on, and I think, that's a tall order though. That's a tall order though to think Tua gets at the MVP conversation. I think he gets underrated. I think he will get underrated this year, but I don't think he gets MVP because there's so many other good quarterbacks in the league. Because we're up by so much, you think he just wins all these games? Hey, man. I did hear. I trust you. Hey. Exactly. Bama just blows out all these other teams. Oh, let me do something real quick. What's it called? Huh. Okay. Okay, I got this back rolling. There's that go. What's up, Dazers? Can you guys hear me? If you guys can hear me, type in the chat. Okay, you can hear me. All right, thank you. I'm just going to post this right here. You guys don't have to do this, but it would be greatly appreciated if you did this, but you don't have to. You really don't have to. I'm just going to put this here, but if you have to, if you want to, I'd be greatly appreciated, but you guys don't have to. So, guys, do you have any questions? To his stat line, I made also a video about this, so if you want to go check that out, it'll be right there. But I think to his stat line will be 4,000 yards, maybe high, but I think near 30 touchdowns, and I think about 16 interceptions. I think this year he'll try to fit the ball into a lot more places than he has to, and I think there'll be some interceptions, but I think he'll have a great year. $16 what? uh. Oh, 16 interceptions. Maybe 10 interceptions. I think in that range. What's your question, Josh? What's your question, Josh? No. I've been debating this all offseason. Some points I say yes, but from what I've been hearing with Tua recently, I'd say no. I think giving up so much for a young quarterback that has constant injury issues that we have seen previously. No, not even Rodgers. We're only gonna have like 3 years with Rodgers, so I doubt we see it. I doubt we trade for Rodgers anyways. So no, I don't think we trade for Rodgers. Yes, I know it's Aaron Rodgers, but still, at the end of the day, he's like 35, and you don't know. Would you do okay? If you guys had to create a trade package for Watson, what would it be? What would it be if you had to put a trade package for Watson in? And thanks, Josh. All right, that's not a bad trade. If Tua performs well, I agree with that. I doubt he does because I have high expectations, but if he does perform low, he performs low. But I think that's not a bad deal. I think Tua first, Jakeem Grant, and Tua isn't a bad deal. I think that's a fair deal. Jesus, Josh. Wow. 4 massages. Are we saying good massages, like back massages, or happy endings that he likes? Guys, I might restart the video. I'm gonna be because my stuff's lagging right now. I'm gonna restart it and I'll come back to you guys. So if you guys just want to wait here and I'll just join, I'll be back. All right. So thanks. Well, okay, never mind. I'm back. Thank God. It's working now. I don't have to leave. I thought I had to leave. I was like, oh. Oh, your trade package is great, Josh. I would do it. Deshaun might do that. Well, would the Texans do that? Would they get the happy endings that Deshaun likes? Would they, or would he? Happy Gilmore, exactly. So, guys, you got any questions? You got any questions, guys? If you have a question, drop it in the chat. I'll answer it. Because me and Josh have been chatting this up for a little bit. What's my favorite YouTuber? Probably Douglas Durong. I think his content is fun to watch, and I think he has good humor. And I think he's very informative about the Miami Dolphins. If not him, probably Cody Ko. I love watching Cody Ko's content. You agree? If not, Douglas Durong is a Dolphins YouTuber. It's either K Flexen or TD Fin Talk. TD's Fins Talk. So, guys, you got any Dolphins questions? Exactly. I used to watch. I was actually on TD and Doug's channel. It was a fun time to watch. It was a fun time being there. They're very nice people. Well, from what I observed, Doug, I love his content. Yeah, it was actually it was a very fun time. We were just talking Dolphins in here to answer my question. Who makes teams receivers only? Well, I have to go through the list of receivers then. I'll tell you the ones that are on my head. So it's Devontae Parker, Will Fuller, Jalen Waddle. Those three, obviously. I think Preston makes it. I think we're gonna bring in 6 receivers into the season. So, and I think Robert Foster has been showing up in minicamp, so he might make it and replace. I like Albert Wilson. I think Albert Wilson makes it. I don't know with Jakeem. I'm 50-50 with Jakeem. Because we can keep Jakeem as a good return man, is what he is. But we save cap space, and maybe we could sign a guy like Melvin Ingram. Yeah, I don't think Hearns makes it. Just we're so stacked of receivers. I don't know if Hearns makes it. Well, that's why I'm not going to have Jakeem in the starting receivers. Like, have Jakeem as a receiver. I'm going to only use him as a punt returner. Because Jakeem's hands are terrible. Matt Collins last year, Isaiah Ford last year, cost us in that Bills game with those catches. And even Devontae Parker. I would say no. If anything, they want a lot more Hawaiian, African-American quarterbacks, which I agree. I think there should be an equal amount of quarterbacks. It doesn't matter race, skin, political views. It doesn't matter. If you can throw the rock, great. Come to my team. I don't think it matters about race or skin, race, political views. I don't think it matters about any of that. As long as at the end of the day you can help that team out and make them better, I think. I'm not going to answer that because that's going to go bad. Nah, I can't answer political questions like that. I don't answer political questions. That's why. I think Devontae Parker's one, Desers. I agree with that. I think Will Fuller. I think later in the season, Fuller turns as a 1, and then Parker turns as a 2. But Josh, I can't answer those questions on this channel. I don't want to get banned, and I don't talk about political stuff. Okay, I like the list so far because that's what my list was. Yes. And I think Robert Foster is 6. If I'm forgetting anybody, you have to tell me about. You have to tell me about who I'm forgetting about. If I'm forgetting about anyone, I don't know if I'm forgetting about anyone, but if I am, just tell me. Yeah, that's my list. I think maybe Jakeem. I'm 50-50. It depends on who's gotten cut originally. I'll make a video later on, not later today, but later in the off season, before the 53-man roster gets cut, and I'll tell you who I believe gets cut. Oh, Lynn Bowden. See, that's what I forgot about. Lynn Bowden. He was good last year. I think he's improved from what I've heard. No, I don't think Waddle hates Tua. What I've heard is, and the Mac Jones comments. The Mac Jones comments is no. I'm not even Devontae Smith said Mac Jones. So I don't really worry about it. I think he was just saying that because Mac Jones just won the national championship. Because also Tua's already gotten drafted. So why would you hype someone who's already gotten drafted? So that's why I think he really wasn't saying I'd rather have Tua as my quarterback at that moment. But I think I do think Waddle likes Tua, and what I've heard is Tua has been helping him out with the playbook and helping him out. Mac Hollins yeah, that's what I'm saying. Mac Jones. Yeah. They just wanted to boost Mac's draft stock higher. Are you gutted we didn't choose Herbie? Oh, yeah, Mac Jones. I think they're just trying to rise Mac Jones' stock in the draft since he hasn't got drafted yet. Oh, no, I'm not mad that we didn't choose Herbert. I love Tua. I love that we chose Tua, and I think Tua is going to have a bright future. I think it's going to be the Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger draft. Well, all 3 quarterbacks are great. And, yeah, like I was saying, I think they're just trying to rise Mac Jones' draft stock with that comment. I love Tua. I'm not a Tua like stan like everyone else calls. I'm not a stan. I will give the harsh comments when they need them, and I'll give the respect when he deserves it. And he, Chark or which DJ are you talking about? I'm trying to think. I know there's a lot of good people coming into this draft, like receivers coming. What do I think about our running backs? That's a good question. I think our running backs are serviceable. I like Gaskins. I think he's good. I think we don't know what we're gonna get from Malcolm Brown. I think we're gonna get like what Jordan Howard was, but we're not paying him $5 million this time. I like Salvin Ahmed from the games that we've seen him. I've been hearing high stuff about Jordan Scarlett. Yeah, Ahmed's good. I think he's a good backup. I don't think he's a starter yet. I think if he beats out Gaskins this year, I think we'll be fine with our running backs. I like Patrick Laird as a guy that's going to come in there and block you if you have to. But I can still run like we've seen those years before when he had a run behind probably the worst line in NFL history. I'm trying to think of the running backs on the roster. How many running backs do I think we're gonna make the team? I think four or five, because you always want to. Or okay, I think four, but I think one makes a practice squad. I'll tell you that. I think probably Laird makes the practice squad because we haven't heard much about him yet. But I think Laird makes the practice squad. I think Scarlett gets third or fourth. But I think Brown gets third. I think Ahmed gets second. And Gaskin gets first. But I would have liked if we drafted a running back. But I wanted Javonte Williams. My brother's a Denver fan. I've been hearing good stuff about him so far. And he was bragging in my face when they drafted him. Ooh, we were talking. Me and Josh were talking about this earlier. I think we bump his bonus up, but I don't think we bump his salaries up. Don't you think that tour stands were a byproduct created in wake of the amateur casual balls coming out with their new team? Exactly, I think so. And also, I think when Tua does good, they shut up. Like the 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. But when Tua throws 5 interceptions, everyone just clowns him and says he's a bust, and calls him James Winston, which is such a bad take. Jameis Winston had multiple years where he was mediocre. Tua's only had 9 games where he looked decent, and he looked like he had something. I don't want to hear the Jameis Winston take, which is a completely bad take. And I think we do pay X. I think we bump his bonus up, and I don't think we bump his salary up. I think that's what he's really mad about. I think he's just mad about his bonus because he only has 12 mil left on the bonus. And I think where's my bet? I think he's mad because Byron's making more than him. Which, if you just what I would have done if he didn't have this whole yes, Josh. If he didn't have this whole temper tantrum right now about the contract, I think I would have paid him mid-season if he balled out. I would have paid him mid-season, and I would have given him the contract he deserves. If he can, the only thing I'm scared about with X is his injury history. That's the only thing I'm scared of with his injury history, because we've seen a top 5 corner or top 3 corner play last year, but before the injuries, well, with all the injuries, with the years that constantly stack up, that's what I'm scared about paying. That's why I think Flores and Greer are also scared about paying X right now. Exactly. Hey, they're not wrong. He did ball out. He played like the best. He was the best corner last year, and I don't want to argue that. I think in general he's a top 2 corner or top 3 corner. I think yes. I think Colin Cowherd is such a bad. Like, I can somewhat respect Skip Bayless, but I hate Colin Cowherd because he says such bad takes. He's such a bad analyst. He gets bailed out because of the people that he's on with. Because the only reason why I watch that show is because of Jason's Taylor's sister. Well, I don't even watch the show. I like checking on like YouTube clips. I don't really pay attention to that show. I'd rather watch NFL Network or Exactly. Like, Ravens don't have injuries. And Josh is also, like, he's a big Lamar fan. So, I think Ravens go mediocre this year. I think, like, 13-4, 12-5, about. Yeah. They weren't going to go 16-0. No. The thing that I don't like about Ravens is I think they need they're one receiver. They're one receiver away. Exactly, second round exits. They're that one receiver away. If they would have traded for Julio, that would have been big. True or false? It's true. It's true. I think Colin Cowherd is a bad analyst. He shouldn't be on TV. Exactly, they're one elite receiver away. And I'm 50-50 on Julio going to Titans. I think that was the best place he could have gone. But I think also now he's going to realize that he's really not the number 1 target on that roster. He's not the number 1 target because they have Derrick Henry, who's big. And Julio's constantly injured. He can't stay healthy to save his life. I think Julio's a good receiver, and I think he's top 5 still, but I don't think he's going to realize that they have A.J. Brown. He's going to get the ball. Derrick Henry's just going to inside zone it or halfback stretch it. That's all. That's all. And then when he does get the ball, he's gonna get mad because he doesn't have the ball in his hands all the time. But I like Julio. I like the Titans. I think if he would have went to oh, okay, Suffins Intel. I know you, man. I know you. But I think they are that one elite receiver away from a championship roster. TD Fins. Yeah, I watched TD Fins talk. I was on his channel. Well, I'm not bragging about being on his channel. I'm just saying I was on his channel. But yeah, I watched TD Fins talk. TD's a good guy. I mean, sometimes he makes some stupid takes, but he's still a good guy in the end of the day. But everyone makes them. No, I don't think he's a Tua hater. I think he just gives Tua tough love, and I think if you look at him recently, he was commenting about how good Tua was in that practice, and I don't think he's a Tua hater. I think he actually quite likes the kid, but he just is. He's a harsh critic. It happens. There's guys that are like that. I'm not a Tua lover. I don't hate the kid. I actually love that we drafted him. Yeah, he thinks we're gonna start Jacoby Brissett. I don't think he is. I think he's a good guy. I think him and Doug, whenever they're together, they're quite a good duo. And even what's his name? He's the guy for the new Miami Sports Talk. He's actually very good. He's very good. He's very knowledgeable. He does the morning show. Hey man, TD's a good guy. Well, if you look at it, it's his opinions. Some people think we should have drafted. Some people think we should have drafted Sewell. And some people wanted the trade. Yeah, the fan base was 50-50. If he didn't get in trouble, he would have. He's still a top 5 quarterback. No, that's false. The Bengals do. Bengals or Texans do. We have 25, 24th ranked on the line coming into the season. I think we have mediocre. I think we have guys that can improve. I think we're just mediocre. I don't think we're top 15, top 20. Bengals have the worst O-line. I mean, I can see why you say bottom 5 O-line. I can see why. There was games last year where the O-line looked trash, and they didn't know how to block. They didn't know how to – even when Austin Jackson came back, no, they knew the O-line. No, they knew the playbook, but they didn't know how to but it was the weirdest offseason in NFL history. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're all super young. All of them are 25 or younger, except for Matt Skura. And the Eichenberg pick I loved. I think Robert Hunt moving to guard will help. Solomon Kinley getting another year under his belt is good. He was good some games when Flowers got hurt. He was actually playing pretty darn good at left guard. The only guy I'm really concerned about on the O-line is Austin Jackson. If we can, all right, man. Thanks, guys. If you can come back later, I'll be happy about it. But if you can't, see you, man. Thanks, man. If you can help, if you can shout it out, please. Just spread the word to other Fins fans and all that. All right, man. Thanks. Yeah, like I was saying, I think we do have I think we have a mediocre O-line, but I think the only guy I'm kind of concerned about is Austin Jackson, because he was good before he got hurt, but I think when he got that injury, it killed his momentum. I think he killed what he was thinking about and how good he was playing. And then there's guys like Noah, who I think Noah's a project. I don't think they expected him to ball out immediately with him just stepping into there, or him only playing receivers for 2 years. So I doubted. I think Tua. I no a little. I think Noah will be good this year, but I don't think he'll start. I think our cornerbacks is going to be if Xavier Howard stays. Howard 1, Jones 2. I think Coleman 3. I think Coleman's going to be the third best signing in free agency. I think the other or second best signing in free agency. I think Florida's the first, but I think McCourty at 4, Needham at 5. No. Probably Noah at 5. All right, thanks, man. I'm glad you get the sub, and I'll talk to you if. I'll see you later, man. Maybe 6 hours. Okay. I'll wait for some more people to join. Stop at 2 hours. So if you're watching the video afterwards, just comment stuff in the comments. I'll answer them on the next video before I do the topic that I pointed out. Sick of this bullshit. Niggas call me a sellout. Cause I hopped in Christianity so strongly that I fell out. Now I'm avoiding questions like a scared dog with his tail down. Feeling so damn humiliated cause they looking at me like I'm hellbound. What story should I tell now? I'll just expose the truth. I'm so close to the fucking edge, I should be close to you. But who the fuck are you? You never show the proof. And I'm only fucking human, yo, what am I supposed to do? There's way too many different religions with vivid descriptions. Begging all fucking men and women to listen. I can't even beat my dick without getting convicted. These ain't wicked decisions. I got different intentions. I've been itching to get it. I've been giving assistance. But the whole fucking system is twisted. Now I'm dealing with this backlash, preaching my decision to Christian. And I've been told that my simple life isn't addiction. But I can't find it. It's just too hard to stand beside it. I need Nancy, humans can't provide it. I look at the earth, the sun, and I can tell the genius man designed it. It's truly mind blowing, I can't deny it. Is heaven real? Is it fake? Is it really how I'm fantasizing? Where's the Holy Ghost at? How long does it take a man to find it? My mind's a non-stop tape playing, and I can't rewind it. You gave me the Bible and expect me not to analyze it. I'm frustrated and you provoked it. I'm not reading that motherfucking book because the human wrote it. I have a fucking brain, you should know it. You gave it to me to think, to avoid every useless moment. It was a mission that I had to abort. Cause humans be lying with such an inaccurate source. It's gonna be hard to put me back on the course. Next Jehovah's Witness to go on my book, that's where I'm slamming the door. A lot of folks believe it though, but I'm not surprised. Humans are fucking dumb and still thinking that Pop's alive. I ain't trying to take your legacy and torture down. I'm just saying, I ain't heard shit from the horse's mouth. Just sheep always telling stories of older guys who were notarized like you when you finally vocalized. Now I'm supposed to bow my head and close my eyes and somehow let the Holy Ghost arise. Sounds like a fucking poltergeist. Show yourself, and the poem is done. Every rumor's gone. I no longer doubt the shit. You're the one. I'll admit that my simple ways were stupid fun, and all my old habits can hop on top of a roof to plunge. I donate to a charity that can use the funds. Fuck the club instead of bitches. I hang with a group of nuns, and everyone I ran into would know what I came to do. I wouldn't take a step. I'm sorry for being. I'm just waiting for people to join. So how's everyone's night going? Ooh. Hey man, you can put any questions in the chat and I'll answer them. You can answer. You put them in the chat. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. I'm gonna hang on to here. I'm gonna hang on here for a little bit longer, and if no one else joins, they're just gonna leave. Hey man, how are you doing? All right, guys, I'm gonna end the live stream for today. This was fun. I wish I can do. I'm gonna do this again another time. And all right, so see you guys.